I'm John Cronister. I'm the tournament director for the Lancaster County Junior Golf Tour, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2023 golf season. First, I'd like to greet all of our new members. Again, this year we have a lot of new members. We also have a lot of members who are changing, or past members who are changing divisions. We have a lot of the Silver Boys who are moving up. We could have potentially our largest Boys Gold division that we've ever had this year, so that's exciting. Want to start by just talking briefly about our expectations, both for those of you who are new to the tour as well as our returning players. Our expectations are pretty clear. You'll see them in the video, and we'll talk about it as well as when I send out my tournament director notes after the conclusion of each event. But our expectations might be a little bit different than if you play on the Buckeye Tour or, AJGA, those kinds of events. A lot will be similar, but we do have some different expectations. So as you watch the videos, please make sure that you are paying attention to that. As for new updates, we really only have one. We have a new tournament venue for this year. We're going to be headed to Lebanon Country Club, which I know I'm excited about. That's one of my favorite courses. I love playing there. It's not super long, but the greens will definitely present a challenge and definitely defend that golf course very nicely. The only other thing I want to just talk about while I have you here is dress code. Okay, particularly for our guys. We don't really have much of a problem with dress code on the golf course. I just want to remind you again that our dress code is in effect from the time you arrive at the course until the time you actually leave the golf course. Not golf course, the parking lot. Like, you're actually on your way out. So shirts need to stay tucked in, guys. Hats need to be on forward. Last year, I felt like I spent a lot of the time either before players started or after players finished, reminding you of that expectation. Again, it's not that hard, and it's just something that you sign up for when you sign up to play on the Junior Tour. You are agreeing that that's what you're going to do. You don't have to love it, but it's what we do. Okay? So anyway, I'm excited to get started with a new season. We're within a month now of getting those first golf balls in the air at Overlook, and I look forward to seeing all of you this summer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk through leading up to a tournament, prior to tournament day, what to expect when you arrive at the golf course, what happens during play during that day, and then after you're finished play. So prior to the tournament, you need to register for an event, and registrations are open up to 5 days prior, or they close 5 days prior to the first tee time for an event. So make sure that you are registered by that time. Okay? Tee times will usually come out, and you can check those on the app or on our website, and they usually come out. I get those turned around pretty quickly, so that they're usually out 3 to 4 days, usually 4 days prior to the first tee time. Okay? If you need to withdraw, okay, for any reason, okay, you have until 48 hours prior to the first tee time to withdraw with a full refund. After that point, you still can withdraw. There just will not be a refund there. I ask that you let us know, let me know, let Greg Goodling know, let somebody know as soon as you know that you are going to need to withdraw. Okay? It causes a whole ripple effect of pairings and groupings and tee times, and so the sooner we know, in addition to getting you a refund, the easier it makes our lives as well. Okay? If you do not show, so you have a no-show or you do not finish, okay, those are serious breaches in our tour. So for those events, or for those actions, they eliminate you from playing in the Tour Championship. So if you decide that the morning of the tournament you're not coming, you don't call, you just don't show, Okay, well, that's going to eliminate you from the Tour Championship. Or if you're out there playing and you're just thinking, man, I'm having a bad day, I just want to get off the golf course, and you walk off, okay, that's going to be a did not finish, same consequence. If you are sick on the golf course or injured, that's completely different. Get in touch with the rules official and we'll work through that with you. And then finally, weather concerns. It's the summertime, we get storms. Of course, if we're out on the course and we see lightning, hear lightning, we're going to get you off. Safety is important. The tricky one is what to do if a storm is rolling in and it's prior to your tee time. Should I come to the course? Should I not come to the course? There's really no good way for us to contact all the players who are playing that day. So the thing I would suggest is you probably should come to the course, see if we can get it in. We might have a delay. The other thing is, since our events are so spread out, it might be raining or storming where you are and not where the course is. So again, just show up and hopefully we'll be able to get the tournament running either on time or with a slight delay. All right, so now it's tournament day. What do we do on tournament day when we arrive at the golf course? Well, the first thing that's important is to talk about the dress code. Because as soon as you arrive on the property of the golf course, our dress code, we will be enforcing it. So guys, that means shirts tucked in. Okay? When you get out of your car, tuck your shirt in. Okay? When you finish the round, keep your shirt tucked in. When you get to your car to leave at the end, you can untuck your shirt. I know that's a big thing, but keep the shirt tucked in. Hats, if you're wearing one, make sure that's on forward. The things like that. We pride ourselves in looking the part, and we get a lot of compliments where we go that our players are polite. They look like they're players. They handle themselves very well, and dress code or the way you dress is important. Ladies, the dress code for you is a little bit different. However, no athletic shorts, no t-shirts. But for you, it is a little bit different. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll help you through that. When you get to the course, you get out of the car, you tuck your shirt in, and you're ready to go. Where do you go next? Well, you need to find the check-in table, okay, and go there and meet with Peanut, and she'll get you checked in, just so that we know that you're there. That's where you need to go first. Very first thing, every time. Go check in, I'm here, say who you are, and that way we know that you're on the property. Then it's time for you to go warm up. Okay? Some people like to go to the putting green first and then the range. Some people go to the range and then the putting green. That's your preference. So you decide which order you want to go in. And then the big thing is 8 to 10 minutes prior to your tee time, you need to start working your way to the starters tent, because there are going to be things we're going to go over with you, the notice to the competitors, all those kinds of things. We need you there 8 to 10 minutes prior. So if your tee time is 8:50, you can't come rolling up at 8:50. We want you there at 8:40, 8:42, so that we have time, our starter has time to go over whatever information is important for that day. So again, the question often comes up, especially for players who are a little bit newer, how do I know, well, when do I get to the course? My tee time's 8:50. Like, what time should I get there? Should I be there at 7? Should I be there at 8:45? Okay, so my suggestion is decide how long you like on the range. Some people like to spend 45 minutes hitting golf balls. Some people, 10 minutes is enough. How much time do you want on the putting green? Do you want to hit any chips beforehand? And then I always calculate in a good 20 minutes of check-in, walk through the parking lot, go to the bathroom, stuff like that. So basically kind of work your way backwards to, what time do I need to be there so I'm not rushed and I'm ready to go 10 minutes prior to my tee time. All right, so now it's time to start your day. Okay, tees in the ground, ready to tee off. So what things do we expect during the 4 hours that you're out there to play? And by the way, I said 4 hours that you're out there to play. Number one, let's start with scorecards. At the starters tent, you're going to get a scorecard with everyone in your group, their name will be on it. Okay? Again, different from other tours. Okay, we're not swapping cards around. So if it's you and 3 other players, it'll be your name and your 3 fellow competitors on the card. If you have a threesome, it'll be your name and the 2 fellow competitors. Okay, so what we expect is we expect you to keep a card with scores for everyone in your grouping. Okay, it needs to be legible, meaning we need to be able to read it, and it should be up to date, meaning every hole you're putting in scores. Okay? Now, when I say putting in scores, it means you kind of have a general idea of what the other players in your group had on each hole. Sometimes we get in a situation, particularly with our younger players, where one player in the group will think someone had one score, one player in the group will think the player had a different score. And that can sometimes cause an uncomfortable situation. Okay, this is not a spot where you're accusing them of anything. What you want to do is you want to just say to them, hey, do you mind, can you walk me through that hole again? Like, so you hit your tee shot, okay, then you hit it down the left side, you were a little short, you hit that chip just short of the green, chipped it on, 2-putted, so that's like kind of talk through it. Okay, that's the best way to go. Because there are times where accidentally you come up with the wrong score. Okay, I will say this, and this is whether it's you or somebody else. Okay, if somebody 2 or 3 times in the same round announces the wrong score, okay, that doesn't seem to be an accident. Like, you got to be careful. It's really important. On our tour, the integrity of the field is important, but also your integrity is important. So we need to make sure that we're getting accurate scores. Okay, this is not, playing with a grandparent where, you shave one off. It's got to be the score that you shot. Okay. Next is working with rules officials. We will have rules officials out there roaming the course. Most of them will be marked with like a red flag flapping from our cart that says rules on it. If you have any kind of question or concern, before it happens is even better. So if you're not sure what to do, okay, if you see somebody with that red flag, wave us over. Okay? If you don't see somebody with the red flag, it's the one of 2 times you can take your phone out and call for a rules official. The other time obviously would be in case of a medical emergency, then you can take your phone out. Otherwise, phones should be away. But if you're not sure of a situation, call for a rules official. Okay, and it's important that you do that, if possible, before something happens. Our rules officials, we're out there obviously to enforce the rules, but we're out there just as much to help you learn what to do, to teach. There is not one situation all year where I will be excited to say, I'm sorry, that's a 1-stroke penalty or a 2-stroke penalty. Now, we're going to say that when that's the case, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to help you learn the rules, understand the rules, use the rules to your advantage when possible. So it's important that you understand we're not out there to get you. We're out there to help you. Even though that might mean you get a penalty shot, we want to talk through what happened and how to avoid that situation the next time. So again, a rules official is not someone that you should be afraid of. It's someone that you should ask for help or ask what the situation is when needed. So you can call for a ruling, or you can ask a parent to call for a ruling. Okay? Parents may not on their own call in for a ruling or call in and say we need a rules official here. So what will happen is if we get a call and we hear, okay, we need a rules official on hole 16. Okay, one of us will come up and we'll say, okay, so which player needs a rules official? And we're going to talk to the players. We're not showing up to talk to the parents. Okay, so players, it's really important. And again, it's what golf is. If you think one of your fellow competitors has violated a rule, okay, all you need to say is something along the lines of, hey, I think something may have just happened there. Or, if you know a little bit more, did this just happen? Maybe we need to get a rules official in. Okay? It's just what happens in golf. You need to, as the player, protect the rest of the field, because not everybody in the tournament can watch everybody else. So you're the players with them. You need to, it's called, again, protecting the field. and we're going to talk just to the players when we come in, and we'll ask you what happened. Next thing that's big is pace of play. Okay? As I said at the beginning of this, we would like you to play in 4 hours. Okay? Maybe a little bit lofty, but in a tournament, we're actually 4:15 is really the target number. Okay? 4 hours is better, but 4:15 is the target number. All too often, what happens is a group starts off, okay, and they're having a good time, and you watch them walk down the fairway, all four side by side. Okay, and not really walking with any kind of purpose. So one of the ways to really speed up your pace of play is to walk with a purpose. If you are the last person to tee off, you're going to have to catch the other three, because they're already going to either have shoulders on their, or bags on their shoulders, or their push carts ready to go. And when you hit it, they're off and going. And if you want to talk to them, you need to catch up to them. Don't wait for that fourth person. It's not rude. It's not inconsiderate. It's called golf and how to play at an appropriate pace. Okay? So all four of you aren't walking down the fairway side by side unless all four of you hit it right into the same spot. Now, the ironic thing about that is when someone hits a ball that's a little bit offline and there's a potential for a lost ball or something else, that's the one time when we watch players split instead. Okay? If there's a ball that may be lost, it's your obligation to help your fellow competitors search for that ball. Okay? There's nothing that irritates a couple of the rules officials in particular more than we see a ball search, we go up and it's one kid and three parents helping to look, which is fine. Parents may look. Once the ball is found, parents should get away. And it's us, and here are the other three players over on the other side of the fairway. Okay? If there's a possibility that a ball is lost, that's the time where you should be there trying to help locate that ball. Okay? As far as pace of play, walk with a purpose. Place your bags where you're going to exit the green. Okay? So if you hit a shot on the green, okay, walk through and say, okay, the next tee's over there. I'm going to place my bag here, so when I'm done putting, I'm exiting there, grab my bag on to the next tee. Okay, so think about bag placement. And then the final thing is on the green. Okay, again, this one may slow it down just a bit, but too often, especially with the younger players, we see groups of four all standing within 5 feet of each other while somebody's putting. Okay, on the green, give players space, give them space. If your ball's on the green and you're not putting, mark it and pick it up. Okay, again, every year we get in situations where we've got 3 golf balls laying 3 feet from the hole. Somebody misses a putt and the ball rolls through and hits another fellow competitor's ball. So if I'm putting and somebody else's ball is on the green, anywhere near the hole, I'm going to ask them to mark it if they don't mark it on their own. If my ball's on the green and somebody else is putting, I'm marking it. It doesn't take long. Mark down, pick it up. Okay, but that's kind of important. It saves you some potential penalty situations. And if you do it quickly and efficiently, it doesn't slow things down too much. Final thing I want to address is spectators. Spectators, we love having spectators out there. Spectators, you should for caddy, so out in front is great. Stay in the rough, not in the fairway, and at least 20 yards ahead. Okay? If a ball is hit offline, players will often point to help you kind of watch it. Okay? You certainly can help search. The one thing I want to be a little bit careful of, there are occasionally times when someone hits a ball into an area where they don't want it found. So before you go find one in really high weeds, whatever, make sure the player wants you to look first, because once you find it, then they have to play it or take a penalty from that situation. So sometimes players will abandon a ball without searching just because if they find it there, it's going to be so bad. So again, you can help search spectators. And then the biggest thing that we often have is spectators walking too close to the players, spectators talking to the players. Okay? And by talking, I mean, giving them encouragement that is a little over the top. Okay? As a spectator, your comment should be as follows: great shot. What flavor Gatorade do you want? Okay? And can I carry your umbrella? Like, that's about it. Okay? Otherwise, you're giving too much advice, putting too much pressure on them. Golf, you're out there watching them. Let the kids play. And then if you want to talk about things, talk about it on the car ride home. Talk about it after the round. All right, so now you've holed your last putt. Everybody in the group is finished. Now what do we do? Okay, so at that point, what you're going to do is you're going to come off the 18th green, and someone hopefully will be there to help direct you to our scorers table. Okay, and go directly to the scorers table. This is kind of like Monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Directly to the scorers table. Okay. Again, nothing is as frustrating as 3 players being there, and where's the 4th one? I think they went to get a hot dog. And now you're searching for, and by the time we find them, here comes the next group. We need that scorers table cleared out when the next group comes in. So if you're hungry, thirsty, whatever, you'll get there. The sooner you get to the scorers table, the better. So at the scorers table, what our scorer will do is they'll ask if there were any potential issues, anything you need to talk about. This is a time that if there's a potential rules of violation or rules issue that you didn't talk about out on the course, that you say yes, and a rules official will come in. Again, we'll talk through it. Okay? If there is not one of those situations, then what you'll do is you'll sit down, and let's say I'm one of the players. I'll go through my score while the other 2 or 3 players verify they have the same scores for me on each hole. Okay? And then we'll just go right around and everybody will read their cards. Okay? You'll sign your cards and then you're done. Okay? Once you are finished and you've signed your cards, the card is at that point official. That's when you can go to the bathroom, go get your hot dog, go get your soda, go check scores. Okay? And again, I already talked about it, but I'm going to just throw it in there again. Okay? If you are in position for an award, do not leave. Do not leave. Do not leave until someone has knocked you out of a position for an award. And again, we'll have like the electronic scoreboard there. You can check it on your app. There are lots of ways to check it. There are lots of ways to know how many places we're paying or awards we're giving. So, really be careful or watch for that. Okay. At the end, once that's done, okay, if you're not in position for award, you are free to go. There'll be a write-up on the website probably the next day, just a little bit about it, and quite often we get newspaper coverage as well. So then you're looking forward to the next event.